Dennis from Dark Life captures what can only be a demon in this abandoned house. After his lantern mysteriously shuts off, Dennis scrambles in the darkness. Finally, he gets it turned back on.
Это, походу, его проделки.
He thinks the poltergeist is campaigning against him, so what next? The demon is in the adjacent room. He leaves for a moment, and when he returns, everything is on.
Хотел собирать вещи. И все включилось. Включилась камера, и включился этот свет.
Is the demon playing tricks on him?
Ну, в общем, все, друзья. На этом все. Всем спасибо за просмотр. Блин, у меня аж мурашки сейчас по коже, реально. Пипец. В отражении зеркала. Ой, зеркало, говорю, стекла.
Or is he standing there watching him? I can feel the demon's presence in this one, and I can't get that sound out of my head. Post at the manor. After the residents of this manor kept experiencing paranormal activity, YouTube team Exploring with Fighters was invited here to investigate. Dan initiates the investigation by informing the spirits about the paranormal devices being used. He invites them to communicate with the team, and they do.
There's also something behind that door in the bathroom. If you go near it, it will go off and let us know that you're here. Thank you.
They hear another device go off in a separate room.
Oh, REM pod's going off.
Oh.
No one's in there as well.
Yeah.
This spirit seems to have stage fright. Still, he triggers the REM pod again.
I'm just gonna go and grab my other camera.
Yeah.
Oh. REM pod's going off.
Oh, wicked.
What's that? Oh, sure.
This time it goes off for an extended period of time, and then it seems the spirit moves into the bathroom.
What the What is that? Oh, that was the thingy, movement sensor in the bathroom.
Really?
Whoa!
What was that? Was the 360?
Hold on a second. Look,
It's gone out.
it's just died.
But the triggered devices aren't the only evidence the team leaves with. They also take these mysterious Polaroids. A second Polaroid captures more spirit figures in the window panes. What do you think of these captures? Well, I can see what the team sees. I think that could just be our collective minds playing tricks on us. But considering all the activity triggered on the paranormal devices in this old manor house, I also tend to believe that something is here. Whether it's the mad monk or not is anyone's guess. Number 5. Jinn. YouTuber Hassan Barbar is dealing with a very aggressive jinn in this scary video. First, he hears it hissing. He pursues the jinn throughout the abandoned place, but it manages to keep just out of sight. But he's painfully close. There is sound around every turn. But as of yet, no sign of him. That is, until...
Salam alaikum. مرحبا. ماله هيك؟ اخوان هذا
He gets closer and closer to it until it vanishes.
شي وراي يا اخوان شايفين؟ بتحرك. طلع كيف بتحرك يمه. تعال ليش هربت؟ ليش؟
Where did the jinn go? Wherever it went, I hope it didn't take our souls with it. Number 6. Imagine waking up one morning and finding this thing lurking in one of the most intimate areas of your home. That's the reaction of a YouTuber named Stefani Van Tinnen and her mother upon finding a huge rat in their toilet. They start talking about how to get rid of the giant rodent and finally come up with a plan. When coaching it to jump into the bag doesn't work, Stefani grabs a glove and a towel, and with the help of her mother, finally gets it inside of the bag. Her mother runs outside of the house and puts the rat in the front lawn. My question is, do you think you would have had the courage to grab a possibly diseased rat straight from a sewer like they did, or would you have called Animal Control Services? To be honest, I probably would have contacted Animal Control Services. Help. While a DJ was closing a nightclub, he heard something bone-chilling. YouTuber Dark Moose shares this creepy video. Listen closely. You can hear a woman scream. She then starts shouting for help. Also captured in the video is a figure or figures walking past in the background.
Hearing this late at night is unsettling, that even people walking nearby feel unsafe and flee.
Some in the comments are wondering why the crew seems so chill while hearing this scream, and they don't seem to be in any rush to help. Others suggest that this is a common tactic to lure unsuspecting victims into being robbed, or worse, ending their life. I'm not sure what exactly is going on here, but if there's any truth to the last suggestion, I'm now going to be paranoid whenever someone cries out for help. It sucks that we live in a world where we hesitate to come to someone's aid because it may be a trap, but unfortunately, that's the possibility. Number 20. A janitor is closing up a restaurant in San Francisco called The Chapel, which is said to be haunted by the ghost of a small girl. As soon as he is done locking the door, something tries to leave and then runs away. If she was afraid of getting locked in, why didn't she bang on the door to be let out? Also, how come she didn't say anything when all of the lights turned off? On the contrary, if this was instead a real person trying to sneak in, then she probably wouldn't immediately try to open the door because it could set off an alarm. I guess she could just be making sure the janitor really is leaving. But since this restaurant is said to be haunted by the ghost of a small girl, I believe this could be her. Redditor editor 1289 is wondering if film footage can cause a haunting. Let's watch it and judge for ourselves. It looks like the figure of a little girl crossing from one room to another. Here's a bit more context from the Redditor. Well, some say the answer is yes, others think that this clip in question is doctored. They say it looks like a girl who's been blurred out in post-editing. The Redditor claims that the man whose house this is lives alone, and other footage also shows the little girl, as well as furniture moving and strange voices and laughter. Do you take his word for it? In my opinion, the figure in this video does look like a solid one that's been blurred out, but as for the original question, I do believe you can become haunted by watching genuine haunted footage, so my viewers had better be prepared. A YouTuber named Dan Baines is the keeper of Mr. Fritz, a ventriloquist dummy that was once used to entertain the troops. During the 1940s, he's very old and has since fallen apart to the point where all that remains is his disembodied head. Mr. Fritz is believed to be possessed by the spirit of his creator, a man who lost his life in battle and refuses to rest in peace. Lately, Dan has been seeing and hearing things all around the antique, so he sets up a camera to record. It's 3:30 in the morning when the glass door pops open. I don't see a string. Do you? This happens again at around the same time the next night, except this time his eyes open. String or no string, watch this part and tell me how a wooden ventriloquist dummy can open its eyes with no one nearby. And if you zoom in for a closer look, you'll see two orbs race by shortly after the case opens. I'm not saying that this video is impossible to fake, but unless this is an electronic prop that is being controlled with a remote, then I don't see how it can be done. A race car driver finds himself in one of the worst predicaments possible when the steering wheel breaks off in his hands shortly after kicking it into high gear by itself. Judging by his right leg, it doesn't look like he hit the gas at all. The only thing left to do to keep from flying into the wall is pull the emergency brake, which he grabs immediately after fumbling a moment more with the now non-existent controls. The faraway look in his eyes at the end of it all says everything. He knows exactly how much danger he was in, and that he's lucky to still be alive. This elevator video from 2012 was taken late at night at an undisclosed location. The space is completely empty until a woman with long dark hair and a dirty nightgown appears out of nowhere with her head down. She stands in place for less than 10 seconds before the security camera suddenly glitches out and shuts off. 2 months later, the video was leaked to the public and posted online. This leaked video might be fake because it almost looks like a stereotypical Hollywood version of a ghost. Then again, as CCTV cameras continue to improve in quality, it would only make sense for the spirits to show more detail as well. Posted to the oddly terrifying subreddit by I'm a Scared Child, this is how baby bed bugs react to human body heat. An old wooden chair is sitting in the middle of the room. This person gets down beside it and places their finger near a crack in the wood. Immediately, dozens of bed bugs stick their little heads out of the crack. Attracted to the heat coming from this human finger. The sight of this is honestly horrific. Many in the comments share their own horror stories about dealing with these vile insects. Some advise using diatomaceous earth on them, or even baking soda. But Redditor B-Cross sums our collective horror up, writing, "It's hard to put into word how evil these things are." I absolutely agree with that sentiment. Kazakhstan is a country with 3 mountain regions said to hold many strange secrets. One such secret can be found by satellite on Google Earth, and it's creepy beyond belief. The lines connect to form a pentagram within a circle. No one knows why someone put such a symbol out in the middle of nowhere. It's either a hoax or an actual summoning circle right by a large body of water, which, if you believe in rituals, could be a necessary element for whatever is being cast. So let me know if you think this weird symbol was made for evil purposes or just for attention. Something tells me this was never meant to be discovered. Strange and mysterious sounds are coming from a hole in the ground that sounds like a hidden entrance to another world. These scary noises sound like some kind of evil ocean and makes me wonder if water is nearby. With that said, I did notice that these strange noises were caught on camera during a windy day. So I'm hoping this is actually just wind rushing through some kind of construction tunnel for a pipe or something, and not a scary hissing creature.
Well, I found or saw a mysterious creature around 4 in the morning.
A YouTuber named Bishop has caught a creature on Doorbell cam. that he can't explain. The video looks like a bug, except Bishop says that the motion sensor absolutely will not turn on for insects of any kind. There are wings, but he says they could possibly belong to some kind of humanoid creature. Whatever it is, it does something really weird next after it lands under the bench. It just kind of, well, disappears. It doesn't fly away and it doesn't crawl under the bench. It just vanishes, something that an ordinary insect wouldn't do. It could be time-lapse editing because the ground gets darker when it disappears, signifying that some time has passed. I'm almost positive that this one isn't real, but let me know what you think. Redditor zealous_art8526 is wondering, what the? Watch behind the baby gate. Something semi-transparent and pale slowly appears. It morphs and changes shape, then it simply vanishes. Although it's quite obscure, it looks like a figure of some kind, but definitely not a human. The video has been slowed down. While I agree that it could be the light from a passing car obscured through a window in the next room, the form it takes is surely creepy. Ruptured asphalt, a volcano of water, mud flooding an entire street. That's what happened in Ukraine's capital of Kiev in May of 2017, published by KVN. This incident occurred due to a 2-meter wide pipe breaking while work was being done on a water canal. The footage shows the very moment the volcano breaks through the asphalt, toppling over garbage cans and gently nudging the cars in its path out of the way. Another camera angle captures just how high the mud reached. According to reports, the mud slushy hit all the way up to the 7th floor of a building. Miraculously, no one was harmed in the event, but some of these cars definitely needed a few runs through the car wash. A Dutch YouTuber named Govert Sweep and his friends go well past their limits while exploring an old place in the forest that's scary enough to have them jumping at every noise, of which I'll admit there's way too many.
Absurd dat daar nu iemand boven. Wat was dat? Was jij dat?
I've heard of a house settling, but this sounds like the opposite. Like a spooky house is ramping up in a bad way. A haunted place where everything has gone wrong long ago.
Wat was dat dan? Je was nou toch? Je was nou toch? Je was nou toch?
I probably would have already been out of there, but they decide to keep seeing what there is to find, which is one of the shadiest entrances to any basement I've ever seen.
Oh, nee, nee, nee.
They go down there long enough to record only a few seconds of footage before getting out fast, and for good reason. Yes, something scary could be lurking among the rubble, but there are also structural concerns as well. The place looks ready to collapse on them, so they made the right decision because no scary ghost or creature video is worth taking that kind of risk. The Wardrobe Ritual is one of the paranormal world's most dangerous games. YouTubers PIT Paranormal Investigation Team complete the ritual, which turns up more than they expected.
Cosa? Cosa? Cosa?
Something grabs Debbie, and it isn't human. What was that? A human-like hand appears for a moment to grab Debbie's shoulder, but no one is behind her. I do believe the ritual was successful. They summoned a demon. Now the question is, how do you send it back? In the house, a demon calls this place home, and the YouTube team Dark Mystic is here to investigate. Using a spirit box, they receive a message from the beyond.
Помогите нам.
This demon apparently needs help, or maybe the spirits he's tormenting do instead. Meanwhile, a still cam in another room captures several unexplained noises. Noise resounds in a second room as well. The noises continue. Is the demon biding its time here until these men leave? I think that's what's happening. To me, he doesn't seem like he wants to scare them away with a bang. At least, not yet. Number 5. It's 6 in the morning, and a YouTuber named Sheezy is about to go home after a long shift at the hospital. All he needs to do is return this 1-ton x-ray machine and then clock out. Unfortunately for him, the elevator gets stuck on the 5th floor and suddenly drops to the 1st floor without warning. It happens so fast that the floor numbers don't even register until the very end, but it's not over yet. The elevator rushes from the ground floor to the 5th floor, ready to drop again, and if that x-ray machine slides back and pins him against the wall, it wouldn't matter if he's at a hospital or not, because it's going to flatten him in seconds. This time, he hits the emergency stop before he can drop again. After a minute and a half, engineers rush to get him out of there. Submitted to the Chills Narrator subreddit by Conscious Swing 7599, this redditor wrote, "Trying to film a podcast until some intruder or some kind of lost creature started stalking us. Let's watch their submission and see what they're talking about."
Yeah, no, I don't know. In 40 years, not retiring. What are you gonna be doing, dog?
I'll be close to retiring, I said.
I don't know, dude. That's gonna be me, dude. I can't see myself doing anything but one of those like trashy office jobs, dude.
The redditor later wrote in the comments, "There was something in the background right before the first cut."
Guys, there's a little jiggling going on with our doorknob. I don't know what's going on there. I don't know who that is, or if I call my dad, I know we're not going upstairs. That's for sure. I'm hoping he's going away. This is the 3rd time he's done that.
And it started stalking us and trying to get in.
Oh, you can kind of see him. Yeah, no, there he is. That's a little scary for us tonight. My dad is not home. I don't know if I call him or what. Dude, we found the guy that was at our house knocking. He's just walking on the highway. We passed him like a couple times. Now he's gonna be up here, I think.
Dude, this is crazy.
You guys see him? I'm not slowing down, dude. I'm not risking this.
Be careful.
Driving in the
You don't want to hit him, dude. He's just walking around.
There he is. There he is. There he is. That's creepy. What?
To which Pete the Cook 2 responded with, "I can see it in the background before you go in, but can't make it out when you are looking out the window. Is the thing in the background the same as the guy walking down the road?" The uploader later responded saying, "He was actually out the window if you look against the garage. We think it's the same guy, because it's not like a group of people are going to a house that rule." It seems like this was one of the most positively received submissions in Chills Narrator subreddit history. Thanks Conscious Swing 7599. YouTube team Amitav Paranormal Tech YT explore this abandoned place when they capture a spirit manifesting on camera. Upon entering, they hear a banging sound. This is followed by a door closing. More racket is heard as the REM pod goes off. As they stand in the darkness, the banging continues. Not long after, a spirit manifests on this infrared camera. The cameraman leaves the cell, and when he tries to re-enter, he finds he's no longer welcome. In fact, no one is welcome. When they do not leave, the spirit doesn't let up. It has one last scare for the crew, and this one sends them packing. I'll be honest, I'm not sure how they stuck around this long. This place is certainly haunted, and they're lucky to make it out alive. Somebody's watching you. Posted to Instagram by Henry Cavill. This clip is seemingly just a simple, albeit incredible instructional video in which Superman actor Henry Cavill puts together a gaming PC. But not everything is as it seems. As Henry pieces this monster together, sharing his expertise, the project turns into an all-day event and darkness falls outside. That's when you see this eerie face in the window. In the comments, memes like one points it out to Henry, writing, "There is a creepy face behind the window. What is that?" Well, Cavill has no answer. Miss Nightmare does, suggesting it might be a ghost or a lurker. Well, Danny Maiden thinks it's a Joker painting. What do you think it is? Just an altogether eerie reflection? Or is something or someone lurking on Henry? Someone is watching you. Published by Paranormal Voyages in January of 2022. This paranormal crew is not just paranoid. As they're tuning into the spirits and or demons of this place, one of the crew sees something pop up outside through the window.
There's something outside.
Here.
Later, as she's wearing headphones to listen in to what the spirits have to say, she feels someone, and then that someone speaks.
Who are you? What are you?
Whoa! Move her chair. It's that in a deep man's voice.
Let's see you move the chair.
After the demon says to touch her and make her cry, the crew urges the demon to leave.
Make her cry, he said.
No, you cannot make her cry. You're gonna have to leave. You can't do anything negative.
The woman looks very shaken up, and she says she felt weird vibes. Are these the vibes of a demon? More than likely. Ready to explore one of Ohio's most dangerous abandoned places? Neither am I. Let's leave it up to Urbex Dane, who published this urban exploration of Elderwood in August of 2017. According to Dane, this street is one of the most dangerous areas in this half-abandoned city. Willing to take the risk, he entered an empty building on the creepy abandoned Cleveland Street. While inside, a truck pulls up. The truck starts beeping and is playing music loudly. Still, Urbex continues exploring but peers out a second-story window to see who's there. It's not clear what this dude's purpose is. And that strangeness is turned up a notch when a group enters as Dane continues through the home. Unsure of what to do, he waits. Are these just more urban explorers, or is something more nefarious going on? He creeps out into the hall, which is empty, as is the stairwell, and yet he doesn't leave. Instead, he heads upstairs. Down another stairwell, he hears this. That's where his battery runs out. Don't worry, he survived, but he doesn't know what was going on or who these strangers were. Many are noting in the comments that this could very well have been dangerous, and he was lucky he got out of there alive. Imagine traveling down a busy city street when suddenly cars, buildings, and even the sidewalk starts to rumble beneath your feet. That's exactly what happened to the South Asian country of Nepal in 2017. Onlookers watch in horror as power lines snap and spark on the roads. Everyone scatters for cover only to find there is nowhere to run when the earth itself is the problem. Meanwhile, store interiors become absolute chaos as heavy items clatter to the ground from the shelves and entire aisles topple over. The very foundation of the building itself threatens to collapse under the immense shaking. Watch again and you'll see this brave woman pick up her child seconds before a cascading avalanche of items would have surely crushed him. It's amazing how quickly someone can become a hero with barely a moment's thought. A YouTuber named The Bearded Biologist created a wildlife channel to help people become more appreciative of nature and not be frightened. Let's see how he himself keeps from getting scared when having an encounter that would frighten 99% of most people, no matter how brave they think they are. Barely visible to the untrained eye and easily mistaken as a piece of driftwood is something that would have people screaming and freaking out, but not him. The biologist spots it and wisely turns the other way at 6 seconds. The curious snake makes no similar efforts to avoid him. The biologist seems to keep it distanced and distracted by his paddle, but it's not over yet. The fearless snake follows him for another 10 seconds and then lets him go. I, like you, most likely thought this was definitely a chase, but he says this was not a chase so much as curiosity on the snake's behalf. What he means by this is that it could be much faster and easily catch up to him if it wanted to. He's just being politely escorted out of its territory, which is a characteristic of the cottonmouth snake, aka the water moccasin. Some people say this is a harmless water snake, but he says it's not, and I can back him up on that one. Not that he needs my help because he already has 2 degrees in this field. This write-up from the Texas Parks and Wildlife Department says water moccasins are the only snakes that float with their head above the water. They are also venomous and are responsible for 7% of all snake bites in Texas every year. So even though I applaud the bearded biologist and applaud him for trying to make me less afraid of nature, I ended up doing research because of him and freaking myself out twice as bad. Knowing that this venomous snake is showing him mercy, to me is just another way of saying he's at the mercy of a big snake. Sometimes the more you know, the more terrifying things get. A group of ghost hunters are exploring a notoriously haunted retirement home in Ohio at 1 a.m. when they manage to find something strange and unsettling.
Under the bathroom. Here it is again at half speed.
One of the ghost hunters barely manages to catch this fleeting shadow while turning around. The room to the right is completely empty and nobody is inside, plus everybody else is in a different section of the house. It doesn't look like the camera is simply adjusting to different lighting conditions, so there really is absolutely no reason for a shadow to be on the right side of the screen like that. To me, it looks like something is possibly making a quick escape. Watch your brains, there's a zombie on the loose. Published by Mr. Illusion in February of 2022, this YouTuber captured what he thinks is a zombie on camera. Dressed all in black, the figure lurches through the high grass. On closer inspection, he appears to be missing his cranium. Despite this, the crew follows this creepy figure, who also looks to be carrying a tool or small hatchet in his hand. He weaves through the woods, off on a mission to do what? I'm not quite sure. Is this a zombie? Or something out of the mind of Ichabod Crane? Jal Bundy has caught some weird things on camera while exploring the forest outside of his village late at night.
আস্তে 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 কেরে কেরে ওখানে কেরে দেখুন 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 দেখুন
In front of them is the white outline of a phantom apparition that for some reason stands out against a backdrop of total darkness. When they rush towards the apparition, you can see it shrinks into a small ball of paranormal energy and disappears around the tree. Is this strange ball of light edited, or really paranormal is what I want to know. I feel like this video could be real because it's late at night. They sound scared and those woods look scary too. Freaky, right? Bonding with nature takes on a whole new meaning when creepy stuff like this happens.
It's extremely rare to see that anywhere, but looks good.
Oh, just grab it.
A midday hike turns terrifying when a bat snuggles up in Mom's hair. Anderton Explorer caught the entire creature sighting on camera. Now they have to figure out how to get it untangled. Snapping their fingers to scare it off is a good idea, but the bat doesn't seem to care much. It spreads its wings, turns around, and marches towards her face. The mom is getting really scared, and who wouldn't be when a bat is about ready to crawl up next to your ear? They have to save her. Would you be brave enough to do the same?
Will you hold still? Hey, God.
The bat is off of her, but it stays near all their possessions. It's dazed, not moving at all, and then suddenly it flies up in her daughter's face and almost gets in her hair next. Something almost has to be wrong with it. This isn't normal behavior at all. Think about it. A nocturnal creature sighting in broad daylight is a bad sign. An animal that is normally afraid of humans landing directly on one is even worse. The bat might have had rabies. If so, it was probably trying to get at her, but couldn't find its way through her hair. So with that in mind, this video becomes even scarier when you realize it could have been unknowingly poking for nearly 3 minutes straight at a bat that could potentially have rabies. The whole family was treating it like a joke, when in reality they could have gotten a serious case. In their defense, they do say in the comments that they saw the bat fly back into its cave, though how exactly that makes it any less likely to have rabies or not is something I don't understand. It's midnight when Sylvia Slarb gets an iPhone notification that someone is at her door. She looks out the window and doesn't see anything, so she goes back to sleep. The next morning, she remembers the incident and quickly checks her phone. This weird shining orb is what her doorbell cam automatically recorded on that night. I have no logical explanation for this aside from a possible insect, but as far as I know, a bug this small and this far away should not be able to trip the sensor. Therefore, I cannot exclude the paranormal as well. A YouTube channel called Sanders Fam has a bizarre sighting on their Tesla motion tracking equipment that they think is a paranormal ghost encounter. The dash icon displays a mysterious figure where none is to be found. Detecting invisible people is something their car has never done before, and is quite an odd coincidence considering they're passing through a cemetery at the time. It accurately detects 2 people a good distance away at 3 minutes and 39 seconds. It keeps happening on the same corner of the same block, the icon of someone riding a bike dashing away from them.
There it is.
They are getting creeped out and wonder what it is. That's when they realize around the corner is the final resting place of a YouTuber named Corey Lavery. They talk about him for a while, and then as they drive away,
There's nobody there.
Now he's walking that way.
something walks by his grave. Now that is certainly a strange series of events. We've seen plenty of poltergeists on top 15s, but this one is particularly aggressive. Posted to very spooky videos, a major malfunction writes, person captures saucer levitating as poltergeist takes over a room. The video begins in complete chaos as the light from an overhanging fan flashes on and off. While the fan is going, then on the wall, a picture in its frame starts to bang. A moment later, a cup levitates off the table, flings up into the air, and then falls to the floor. The man taking the video gets the heck out of there. That's right, put as many miles as you can between you and that poltergeist. Seems like Mad Max. This abandoned house was a favorite haunt for squatters, and now it will soon be the favorite haunt of urban explorers. Published to YouTube by Lomar Mendez in March 2021, Omar and Chelsea dig right into this seriously creepy house, littered with random garbage left behind, graffiti on the walls, and antique gems that look like they've been around for at least a century. Wandering through the house, Omar opens a door, and as he does, listen closely. You can hear a voice whisper, "Look."
I don't know, I haven't really been here in about a year and a half. The very first time we came here, we actually found homeless people stuff upstairs.
A detour into the bathroom brings viewers one of the grossest things seen in this top 10, a pile of discarded hair in the sink. They enter a bedroom, which might explain all the hair, as the room once housed people. Their belongings are still scattered across the floor. Further along, they find scraps of paper with strange noises written on them. They say disintegrates with light and zap the ground. As they're heading upstairs, something falls in the room behind them, pushing them to pick up the pace.
What's that?
But now they have one problem. There's no way out. They wait around upstairs, but no one approaches, and nothing more is heard. Using an electromagnetic field detector, they sense energy in the home. Though the electricity isn't on, it's a steady current.
Look at that. So there's a spirit in here? Is this your house? Yo, it's steady. Like, for real.
The necrophonic device they use in the basement seems to confirm that energy. When they ask who's in the house with them, a voice says hi, and later, "Sir, hi."
Who is in here with us?
The car, you're hiding.
Are you hiding?
They continue to communicate with the spirits, and an orb appears in the top right corner of the door. Did a spirit just enter?
Was this your home?
They ask the spirits to make a noise for them. It almost sounds like it says ghost.
Can you make a noise for us?
They both start to feel ill and uneasy. As they're getting ready to leave, Omar says he felt like the entire house shook.
I almost thought it almost felt like the house shook. Like the entire house, right there, just shook.
Nothing even could have done that. That's like demonic.
Not long after, while they're speaking to each other, an orb appears to drift from Chelsea's head.
I don't know, but it's like really eerie quiet now and like...
Yeah, it's really quiet.
Have the spirits attached to their new hosts? If that's the case, that would truly Mamma Mia. A Redditor named Radlad1 made a 3-post series about a possible ghost lurking in his closet. In the first video, he stands outside and hears a dripping noise. It's very quiet, so I'll boost the sound for you to better hear. That sounds like it could be a leaky pipe or something, but look what happens when he goes to open it.
Okay, that's not...
His hand isn't even touching anything when there's a knock from the other side. The question is whether this is a spirit or just someone he knows. The first video piqued Reddit's interest, so he began documenting more. The spirit is in a foul mood on a different night and the noises grow persistent. Radlad1 finds himself reluctantly standing before his haunted closet once again. The air sounds charged with electricity and carries with it a distant wail, and that's when he notices the door is slightly ajar. Okay, so this could be fake, and the second person could be inside the closet, but wouldn't the shadow of their arm show against the wall here when they slam the door? I see nothing. By now, paranormal activity during the day too, whereas before it was just late at night. Everyone is demanding he open the closet and show them what's inside, and he waits until it starts making noises to prove to everyone, once and for all, that this closet is quite haunted. There's absolutely nothing inside but this creepy doll, which says everything I need to know. However, shortly before he opens the closet, there's a brief moment where he zooms out of focus. This could be where he stopped recording to let his friend out, then zoomed back into focus to make it look like a continuous take, but it looks pretty real to me. Some scary videos just stay with you, so much so that you wish you'd never seen them in the first place. This video comes from Ghost Crusaders, published to YouTube in April of 2020. This episode explores the haunted Leckworth Village, the crew's very first haunted location, which they investigated in 2014. Located in Rockland County, New York, in a 1921 report, over half of the residents in Leckworth were youth, 328 of the 506 patients, ranging from the age of 0 to 16. This fact may contribute to the negative energy in the village, as many Leckworth staff said a scarcity in necessary supplies, as well as food and water. Leckworth's conditions were exposed through photographs and media investigations, and although reforms were made in the 1970s due to public pressure, Leckworth permanently closed in 1996. Since then, the complex has fallen into decay. Everything remains how it was left, instantly abandoned. The Ghost Crusaders explores this institution and all its appalling history. The crew notes in the comments, while using an SB11 spirit box, I never thought I captured any EVPs. It wasn't until reviewing the footage for this episode that I heard the voice, and yes, I can hear other voices like multiple people talking, which I do say at one point, but I edited out for timing, but I can't make out what they are saying.
If anybody's in here, I don't know.
At one point, the EVP captures a voice saying,
So something comes through, they stick me around like... So it's not hard to get interference. So something comes through, they stick me around like...
A moment later, the voice pleads, please don't hurt me. Later, when they are in the bathroom, a voice, potentially from a phantom orderly of the hospital, tells them to sit, as if directing them to do their business on the toilet.
That was a girl's voice. Did you hear that?
Yes.
Some of the EVPs mentioned are not very clear, but the female scream that's heard through the spirit box at one point is definitely frightening. Later, their cameras run out of battery, and while they're changing the batteries, the audio of the EVP is still captured. A voice says, "Leave me alone." At the same time, the investigator who heard the voice in real time, Dan, says he felt a cold breeze on the back of his neck, and he felt someone was standing behind them, whispering into his ear, "Would you have the stomach to visit Lexworth Village? Neither would we." Todd T captures a large humanoid-looking figure going down his neighbor's chimney. He's too far away to pick up any discernible details, but the creature looks to be far too large to be a bird or pretty much any other animal. Whatever this is, it looks to be the size of a human. The mysterious creature stuffs itself down the chimney in less than a minute, at which point I'm guessing it roams around the interior of the home for whatever it can find. What happened to Todd's neighbor is anyone's guess. A woman by the name of Cecilia Carasso in Chile strode past the reception desk at a law office in 2015 when she was attacked by something invisible. As you watch the CCTV video, Cecilia is strolling with a young woman towards the reception desk when she reportedly felt something push her with such force that it caused her to fall backwards hard. You can see Cecilia chatting with the woman and gesturing at something when suddenly, out of nowhere, she falls flat on her back. She doesn't just slip, she absolutely appears as though she was pushed. I wasn't aware of anyone in front of me as I passed the reception desk talking to a girl, and as I looked up towards the receptionist, I suddenly felt 2 pairs of hands shove me over, Cecilia said. She later added, "I hit the floor, and when I looked up, I couldn't see anybody, and I thought they must have run off." When Cecilia asked the receptionist who had pushed her, she was told that nobody had. Cecilia didn't believe the receptionist until she was shown footage of the incident. After seeing it, she was sure that she had been the victim of a ghost attack, since there was absolutely nobody around her. Cecilia's doctors reported that her injuries were consistent with a fall, but that she'd also received a large blow to the head, which may have caused confusion about what she felt and about her injuries, but that doesn't explain what happened in this creepy CCTV footage. Shared in the subreddit Paranormal Videos, this now deleted user picked up a disembodied voice on her dog cam, speaking a foreign language. Have a listen. Did you hear that? The Redditor notes that the camera was placed on the mantle, and there's nothing behind the camera but the chimney. Some in the comments note that both of the dogs are looking at something in the room, and one of them looks terrified. The voice sounds almost like it's hissing in the end. I'm not sure what's going on here, if this is paranormal or there's someone in the home, but I do think I'd be setting up more cameras after hearing this. This ghost wants to be a cameraman. YouTube team Dorset Ghost Mysteries captured this paranormal activity while on an overnight ghost hunt.
Thank you. Thank you for those words. Have you got any more words to tell us? What the heck happened there, Glenn? Glenn? Yeah.
What could possibly be messing with their camera like this? Are we seeing the haunted castle live up to its reputation? I think that's the case, but there's no way to be 100% sure without more evidence. But I do know one thing. What they've captured already is terrifyingly creepy. Dennis and Tim of Nerve Paranormal return to the Atkinson Manor to see if there's anything they've missed their first time around. There certainly is something they've missed before, and it definitely does not miss them. They are first greeted by a stuffed animal that I don't think was there before. It looks much less dusty than the steps around it, and therefore was probably put there recently. Nerve Paranormal could have put that there themselves though, so even though it's creepy, it's also easily disproven. Less easy to disprove, however, is when they hear this commotion while holding a spirit box session. It sounds like something runs up the steps moments before the door opens, yet no one is there. When they return downstairs, they find this blue kid's chair, shown briefly at 3 minutes and 50 seconds, is now part of a neatly arranged circle at 17 minutes and 30 seconds. Just as they are wondering how the chairs got this way, they get their answer. This still frame, taken in a flash of his camera at 17 minutes and 44 seconds, shows the chairs 1 second before they pull away. You can see no strings running on the floor whatsoever. I don't see how this is possible unless they put magnets on the bottom of these chairs and slid them across the ground from one floor below, which requires 4 different people and a lot of effort. Instead of running away to somewhere safe, they stand their ground, which seems to make the ghost of the manor grow even more displeased. Then again, this object just so happens to be within kicking distance of the cameraman, so maybe he did it himself and then acted surprised. When Tim and Dennis decide to leave a minute later, they hear 4 footsteps and the doors open. This could be a spirit or it could be their friends. I think it could be real considering they eventually chose to escape off the roof and risk falling to get out of there. A YouTube channel called Projects Paranormal makes a startling discovery, which in their mind confirms the presence of a shadow figure haunting their house. The mysterious shadow figure could just be someone walking behind the camera, but it's weird how the shadow doesn't really change shape in the doorway. It should get smaller or disappear in the doorway because of the added depth, but like I said, it doesn't seem to change much at all. While exploring Penha Palace in Sintra, Portugal, a tourist was frightened by a mysterious creature. YouTuber YB Normal shares this scary video taken during this tourist's exploration of the grounds. What is this thing? To me, it almost looks like a gorilla, but what would a gorilla be doing outside of a zoo in Portugal? Several in the comments believe it's a panther or a jaguar, but as far as I know, neither are native to Portugal. Unless there are big cats on the loose in this public park, I think it's possible that it's some unknown creature. A group of British friends are playing catch in a courtyard when one of them sees something strange and points it out to the others. The camera follows his gaze and stops on a pale face looking at them from high above. The sickly person looks at them for a second longer before silently slipping out of view. The group is now creeped out and wants to know who has been spying on them this whole time. They tell the property manager about the face they saw in the window, but she says that it's impossible. The room they are talking about has been locked and unoccupied for quite some time. The manager goes up with them to unlock the door and show them around. They try and find the person, but the place is completely empty. There's no way anyone could have been up there, yet the camera obviously says differently. The mysterious peeper has never been identified. Nothing will make you want to skip work more than this next video. Published by Real Ghost in September of 2015. This ghost was captured in an office one night. The video shows a darkened room. As the camera pans around, a semi-transparent robed figure appears in a window to the kitchen. When the camera quickly pans back, the figure is no longer there. Are we dealing with an office ghost straight from Tales of the Crypt? He's definitely not here to do some light paperwork. This paranormal activity was caught on a camera that's displaying an incorrect time. A YouTuber named For Your Viewing Pleasure thinks they have caught a ghost on video sometime around 3 a.m., not 1:24 like the camera says. Regardless, some creepy moments have been caught on tape as their home CCTV system plays back a bizarre ghost-like in front of the camera. Another thing that's weird besides the ghost is how the background goes totally black for 6 seconds and then even stays black for 1 second after the ghost is no longer caught on tape. For Your Viewing Pleasure says they hope this is a bug, even though they think it's probably paranormal. One person suggested that he has not caught a ghost sighting on video, but a moth instead. These creepy moments caught on camera from 2 to 4 seconds do look like possible wings in motion when slowed down, but I'm not sure what to think. Both sides have good arguments, so take one final look and tell me if this looks like a paranormal security video to you or not. Do you have the common care to tame a snake? This shocking footage will make you question your own bravery. The video shows a man grabbing a thick snake with his bare hands. The snake looks around 10 feet long and arches toward the man when he pulls back. As the snake appears to be aggressive, the man holds up one arm. He is apparently trying to grab a hold of the snake close to its head, which he manages to do upon his second attempt. He takes the snake with both hands in a tight grip as it opens its mouth wide, baring its fangs. Then, as if with no care in the world, the man walks the snake over to some other workers, who pick up its tail and are taking photos with the beast. The footage ends there, but judging by this man's professionalism, I think we can safely guess the snake was properly removed to a more secure location. Smackdown. Redditor Absolute Avarice is wondering if this dude is legit smacking the gin in this scary video. The clip's original source is YouTube channel, Tommy Amongst the Tombstones. Let's take a look.
This man is not afraid of ghosts. They are afraid of him.
A second clip shows him giving another ghost a beatdown. And another. And one more. In all my time analyzing jinn videos, I've never seen someone smack or strike a ghost like this, and some believe he's legit.
This man is not afraid of ghosts. They are afraid of him.
Whether real or fake, I think this guy needs to send his application to the Ghostbusters. Stats. Number 20. According to this TikTok by elkakoi.tv, nothing is a coincidence. This couple was driving around when the boyfriend captured something on camera that sent chills down his spine. The couple later had a strange accident, which looks like it totaled the car. Here's what he captured in the seat behind her. Is it a demon? Some in the comments think it's odd that he would even take this random picture of his girlfriend, but others are pretty sure this is the girl's guardian demon. I'm with them on that. A ghost hunting channel in India called Kayatha knows of a haunted railway where plenty of lives have been lost and therefore plenty of paranormal evidence to be found. K2 meter in hand, they walk down the paranormal path and wait for a sign. Occasionally they feel watched and stop to scan the horizon, but nothing is there. Soon a general feeling of unease becomes so unbearable that they stop to put down the K2 meter. They know a life was lost here and a ghost is nearby. They can feel it, and then
एहसास करवाएं वैसे आपने करवा दिया है
भाई रीडिंग देखो कितनी तेज आई है
अच्छा हमें साइन मिल रहा है
The ghost hunters aren't surprised to see the K2 meter spike hard for the very first time all night. They stand around for a long time staring into the darkness and getting nothing on camera, but just when they're about to give up,
कबीर भाई सामने देखो
वहाँ पे
जसी भाई
they go a few steps forward but stop when they realize the ghost has disappeared, or at least that's what they claim. They should have kept running if they wanted to prove it really was a ghost, but they were so creeped out by that point that maybe they didn't want to. It's easy to say that this is fake because they don't go forward far enough, but you never know how you'd react until you're the one having a ghost sighting. This paranormal ghost sighting video could be real. This entry involves a series of videos revealing a web of industrial-looking tunnels that weave beneath the campus of Northern Arizona University. The uploader states that in October of 2018, he only reached the bottom of the stairs but recently decided to venture further. Enclosed Granddad writes, NAU was almost established as an insane asylum back in the mid-1890s, and rumor has it that these tunnels would have been part of that. He shares a link, which notes that the building was first built as a reform school for Arizona's so-called vicious youth. It's unclear why it remained empty for years upon completion. That's when, as Granddad mentioned, an insane asylum was proposed by the territorial legislature. For some reason, that wasn't followed through either. What isn't made clear is this short historical literature is when the tunnels were built and for what purpose. The recorder guides us through the dark tunnels, writing, I came across pathways that I could have potentially crawled, shimmied through, but chose not to because, 1, they seemed a bit dangerously cramped at points, and 2, I didn't want to spend too much time down there. I don't know how much farther these tunnels go until we find out what those tunnels were used for. The mystery may just be enough to haunt you. While this doesn't look like your classic unidentified flying object, it certainly is one. Published by Arte Morbid in April of 2022, this scary video captured something hovering over a street in Mexico City. Security camera footage shows a dark object floating down the center of the street about a foot above the pavement. While the uploader thought it was a mylar balloon at first, a closer look had him second-guessing. He notes that it has a shadow and sometimes moves in a slight rotation. Some of the comments still think it's a mylar balloon or a drone. Others think it's CGI. One commenter says it looks like it's morphing in and out. Do you have any other theories? I think there's certainly something mysterious going on here. This family has been affected by dark magic for years. They believe it's witchcraft because they found unexplained earth crosses and voodoo dolls outside their home. This professional has come to release them from the bad energies. She starts by doing a ritual.
¿Estás bien? ¿Estás bien? Acá conmigo. ¿Estás bien? No la voltees a ver a ella. Acá conmigo. ¿Estás bien? ¿Quién eres?
And then the ritual intensifies.
¿Quién eres? No, acá. Conmigo. Aquí conmigo. ¿Quién eres? Acá conmigo. Respira. Respira. ¿Estás acá conmigo? ¿Estás en piso?
The victim is then released from the ropes.
Voy a romper tus ataduras. Hoy voy a romper lo que no permite que tú puedas seguir adelante. No, te voy a cortar las ataduras, te voy a liberar. Respira, te voy a liberar.
The woman then balances what looks like a glass of milk atop the possessed lady's head.
No hay nada que te retenga. Tranquila. Tranquila. La luz divina te cubre. La luz de la divinidad te cubre. La luz divina te cubre. Esto se me va.
She becomes weaker.
Siéntate. 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 Siéntate.
Cuidado.
Ahí estás. Ahí estás.
And it truly looks like something is possessing her.
Tranquila. Estamos con this.
Whatever is haunting her is hurting her. This pair is connected somehow.
Tranquila. Tranquila.
So.
Respire. Respire. Respire.
The woman tries to catch her breath calmly.
Respire. ¿No qué? A ver. Acá, arriba conmigo. Aquí. Respire. Respire. Inhale y exhale. Despacito. Inhale y exhale.
And then they both appear to be released from the spell.
Hola. ¿Cómo estás? Aide. ¿Cómo estás? Regresa. Regresa, muñeca, regresa. Regresa, Aide.
I find this whole ritual intriguing. Not only are the steps involved interesting, but it seems to have worked. But will it last? I guess only time will tell. Amy23 is filming random scenery in the car when they drive by this weird mysterious figure that is more of an after image than an actual person. A rare sighting of a ghost driving out of Cleburne, Texas, as she puts it. It certainly could be a ghost, but for some reason I feel like it could just be a mannequin or something that somebody set up in the window to freak people out when they drive by. And guess what? It worked. A YouTube channel called Abandoned Explorer heads to an old house that is so eerie, it's best to go by day. I hear a strange noise in this video at 5 minutes and 40 seconds. Is this a creepy sigh?
So I'm gonna guess this is like some sort of living room area.
They are in the center of the house, so I don't think that it can be the wind. Anyway, they continue exploring until one of them yells for assistance. Perhaps they've made contact with someone on the other side.
What? Yeah, mate. What's going on, mate?
But as it turns out, they've only made contact with the other side of the floor and now dangle helplessly.
I just fell through!
They do show the same hole earlier at 6 minutes and 12 seconds though, so this might have been staged. I can tell because this distinctive yellow area is seen in both shots. An employee walks by when the corner of her hand cart gets caught on the corner of this looming wall display. She shakes it loose with a sharp tug, sending an entire wall of spiky pegged hooks cascading down. It looks like she gets taken out pretty badly. Then at the very end, she's standing off to the side, stunned but still okay. I'm so glad she is okay, but the thought of how this could have went wrong makes me still wish I hadn't seen this video. This video experiment proves something which many governments do not want the general public to know. Turning objects invisible is actually way easier than you would think. Look what happens when this YouTuber lowers a basic glass test tube into vegetable oil.
But if I actually put it in far enough that the entire test tube is submerged, it vanishes almost completely.
This simple experiment proves that certain liquids can actually bend light around an object to render it invisible. The key is pairing the right reflective properties with the right objects. This basic scientific principle is what governments are currently experimenting with to create cloaking devices for humans and even aircrafts one day, if they haven't done so already. To further prove their point, this YouTuber pulls out a second test tube that's been hidden in the center of the glass the whole time. Let me know if you think this experiment really does have any military potential, or if this whole idea is too far-fetched to have any practical use. Let There Be Light, posted to the Ghost Video subreddit by Zombie Foxes, the Redditor explains, the security guard quit after seeing the CCTV of an orb walking through a car park and turning on lights in the storage room. The lights can only be turned on with a sensor when you walk 4 to 5 steps in the bike store, which also requires a fob to access it. The video shows the car park in question. For a while, there's nothing to see here, but then the tiny white speck or orb floats slowly across the scene from the bottom right of the screen to the door. Just as it arrives there, the light beyond flicks on. Coincidence? Or is there just something here that we cannot see? If it's true that the lights are only triggered when a person enters, then who or what's inside? No wonder the security guard didn't want to stick around. Numerous cameras around this home have captured paranormal activity, shared by YouTube channel G&D Studios. This is video proof of a haunting. The first instance is subtle. The next one, though, not so much. Then at around 3 in the morning, a bunch of noise is captured on camera, along with movement. Back in the kitchen, something is playing in the curtain. And back at the front door, something is playing in the jacket. In my opinion, this is some pretty straightforward footage. I think now's the time to invest in some sage. You aren't paranoid, but you might be followed. Published by Jasco in June of 2021. This is part 8 in a series of Randonautica experiences over several days. Jasco and his crew are using the app down in Florida State. During their Randonautica tour, they find an old sofa in the forest.
But Wendy's? What we're here for is this. Yeah.
After some coaxing, Jasco lifts a mysterious item that's tucked into its cushions.
That's like a video game or something. What the heck? Is it an iPod? Yeah, what's one of the old iPhones?
No.
Why is it like in saran wrap? Oh,
Wait.
That item turns out to be an old iPhone saran wrapped to the letters C and F.
Feel a little bit safer.
It is an iPhone. Look at that. iPhone.
Bro, I always wanted they had like a coral one.
That's so weird.
Okay.
What?
We just found a phone in the middle of nowhere.
I know, it's super old.
They try to turn the iPhone on, but its battery is empty. Later on the mission, Jasco says Chris has been hearing something all day, and now he hears it too.
Like, where else could it be? I don't know.
Dude, I don't know. Yo,
like, what would
literally, hold on. Can we talk about something quick? You've been hearing things like all day long. Like, you're like, bro, what is that? Like, I hear like some type of beeping.
A beeping sound. Jen finds its source.
Goodness!
What?
It's a tile tracker, bro.
That's one of those little...
A tile tracking device. She said she found it in between the middle console. They run it over, but it's still functioning.
Hold on, I'm gonna...
All this time they were being tracked. Someone was in their rental car the day before and planted it. But who? My guess is someone with ill intention. Thank you so much for getting me to 50,000 subscribers here on my Clips channel. If you want to support, please press that subscribe button. Let's get to 60,000 subscribers next. Thank you.